Hey guys! So today we are answering a subscriber question, and the question in question is, Fredrik, should computer science classes be mandatory in high school? So let's get into it. Well, I would say no, and the reason why I will say no is because although software development and programming is an increasingly required field of there's a higher, the demand for programmers just keeps kind of going up, and we need more people, but I don't think forcing people to learn programming in high school is going to give much. If you look at, say, mathematics, which is a lot more critical in your everyday life than programming will probably ever be, it's not working out all that well for us. Most people go through with subpar mathematics skills, and because it is like mathematics it's an abstract theoretical and complicated thing for a lot of people to learn, and programming is a very similar thing. And the fact of the matter is that in a very similar way to mathematics, the only people who actually get good at it are the people who invest in it more, who have a personal desire to actually push their knowledge higher than just what's going to be taught in schools. Because the problem with the education system when it comes to these sorts of things is that they are, well, there's only so much time you have to teach a young person what they need in order to survive, or what they need to be prepared in order to take the next step into proper adulthood and all of this stuff. And that basically means that, well, at least in my opinion, you should focus on the things that are going to prepare a person, regardless of what path in life they choose, to actually be capable of coping with all of the challenges that they're going to face. And programming is not one of those things. It's to me, it's kind of ludicrous that some schools have all of these different subjects which are almost completely irrelevant when it comes to survival skills, because that is basically what the education system, at least in my opinion, should be about. In a similar way where we historically would teach our children how to hunt, or how to to grow crops and things of this nature. That's the mindset that we should go for. We can't make assumptions on what path a person is going to take in life that early. It's better to actually, and I mean that part is the thing that we're kind of doing today, where we try to give them a more holistic, like base education that they then can go further with and build upon. And that's why I think that computer programming should remain an optional thing, because the people who want to learn programming, they will learn programming after high school, or they might even learn it because they enjoy it even at that stage. But it's I can tell you from both personal experience and from just talking to people who have taken computer science classes that early in life, I can tell you that from just taking those classes, you will not learn what is necessary in order to actually, well, you will not learn what's necessary to make anything really meaningful. That's going to require quite a lot of personal investment. Although, I mean, we could be open to the idea of having expos or showcasing things, and having people who have these who teach these classes show off some of the value that you can get from taking such a class, but it should still be optional, especially if people are paying for it. It's programming is a very useful skill to have, but it's not, it's not critical. You can live an entire life without learning how to program, and most people actually do. So making it mandatory, it doesn't really make sense in my world. I mean, as the demand increases, the industry is facing a problem where we simply don't have enough people, and I don't think but I don't think that the solution to that specific problem, because that's what I'm guessing this question is kind of coming from, where we need more programmers, but I don't believe that forcing people to learn it is going to yield all that much. We're going to get more programmers, a few more programmers, but we also have to consider the quality of the programmers that we get. I mean, I have tons of friends who took programming before I took programming in high school, they're not programming today. It's something they took a course, learned how to do some basic stuff, and then they kind of just forgot about it, while I do it now as a full-time job. And I started out much later in life than they did. So I think that making it mandatory, all it really does is that it forces people to do yet another thing that is not completely relevant to, it's not a critical skill for them to have. If we're going to go down that route, then make basic like economics 101, or make business management, or just the simplest thing in the world, how to write a CV, a mandatory course. These things are a lot more important to the vast majority of people than how to learn how to write a Hello World application or a clock, which was the case with my friends. I mean, there's nothing meaningful that comes from that. So that's probably going to be my answer. So what I want you to take away from this is that I don't believe that programming is valuable enough a skill for every single person who goes through the education system in high school to be forced to learn it. Because I know for a fact, in order for you to survive using it or having a skill that actually is going to be able to give you like some meaningful value, in order for that to happen, the personal investment is quite a lot higher than that which you're going to get from some teacher at a high school teaching you the basics of programming. It's probably going to be interesting for some people, not all, but I don't see it as critical survival knowledge. And that is, at least in my opinion, what basic education should be about. It should be about preparing every single human being for the world of an adult. And currently, I think that we're already failing doing that, and adding programming as a mandatory thing is just going to even further reduce the quality of that work, I'm sorry to say. Have a great day.